The Untruth of Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. Let's see what Luke has to say about this and check this out.
Don't know your Weapon X from your X-Men? No idea what a SNCC is? Fear not. Here's everything you need to know about Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. While X-Men might have been a popular franchise for Marvel Comics at the tail end of the 1990s, comic book movies weren't exactly in vogue. After the disastrous response to 1997's Batman and Robin shook Hollywood to its core, the superhero genre became kryptonite for Hollywood actors. Despite this sense of foreboding, many stars were linked to the part of Wolverine at this time, with some openly throwing their hat into the X-Men casting ring. Before Hugh Jackman grew out his mutton chops and learned to say bub, Scottish actor Dougray Scott was cast as Wolverine in Bryan Singer's first X movie. Unfortunately, his work on Mission Impossible 2 ran into overtime, and he was forced to drop out of X-Men by, of all people, Tom Cruise. Scott told The Telegraph in 2020, "Tom Cruise didn't let me do it. We were doing Mission Impossible, and he was like, 'You've got to stay and finish the film.' And I said, 'I will, but I'll go and do that as well.' For whatever reason, he said I couldn't. He was a very powerful guy." Instead, Hugh Jackman found his way into the movie and the hearts of millions. The casting of Hugh Jackman as Wolverine caught many people in the movie industry off guard, including the actor himself. In a later interview with Jimmy Fallon, Jackman revealed that his Wolverine audition was only 20 seconds long. At the time, he saw it as nothing more than a box-ticking exercise on the studio's part, since Dougray Scott had already been cast in the role.
When I walked into that room, I was pretty sure that I wasn't playing the role.
But it seemed that 20th Century Fox wanted to hedge their bets.
Dougray Scott had the role, and then he got caught up on Mission Impossible 2, but everyone thought that would get sorted. But the studio said, "Look, we need a backup plan just in case."
Jackman explained that this took the pressure off him during his audition, since he didn't believe there was any chance he'd get the part. He just went with the flow. Kevin Feige, who was an associate producer of the first X-Men film, even offered to drive him to the airport and get a bite to eat. The actor told him that he didn't have to go out of his way to be nice, however, as he knew the chances of him getting the part were extremely slim. And we all know what happened next. Hugh Jackman has always worn his heart on his sleeve when it comes to his wife, Deborah Lee Furness. In an Instagram post celebrating their 25th anniversary, Jackman wrote, "From nearly the moment we met, I knew our destiny was to be together." But Jackman and Furness aren't always in perfect agreement. In fact, if it was up to his wife, Jackman would have passed on the role of Wolverine in X-Men. The actor later told Vulture, "My wife was the one who said, 'Don't do it.' She read the 3 pages I was given, because they wouldn't give me a script. 3 pages I got. And she was like, 'This is ridiculous.'" Jackman explained that they were both confused by some of the comic book terminology used, such as the SNCC sound that Wolverine's claws make when they pop out of his knuckles. But Jackman took the leap regardless of his wife's apprehension. In an interview with Female Magazine, Hugh Jackman admitted he knew nothing about the X-Men comic book series before he received the movie's script. However, he liked what he read on the page and could easily tell Logan was a resonant character with enormous potential. But even though Jackman was excited about the gig, the people around him tried to temper his expectations. He explained, "I remember several people saying to me, 'Make sure you book another gig before this thing comes out.' You know, trying to use the leverage to get another job. Because the word on the street is, it's probably not going to do great business." Though this advice might sound strange today, these were the days before the superhero boom changed cinema as we know it. Back then, making a comic book movie was basically a coin flip. Maybe the people adapting the comics in question had vision, passion for the source material, and the talent to pull it off. Or maybe they were simply trying to cash in on a recognizable brand. Fortunately, the word on the street was completely off the mark in this instance. In fact, there's an argument to be made that the box office success of X-Men is what led to Hollywood's renewed interest in superhero movies.
You don't have to do this. Maybe you do.
Out of the 3 Wolverine films, the one that gets the worst rap is X-Men Origins Wolverine. Directed by Gavin Hood, Origins earnestly attempts to bring Wolverine's complex beginnings to the screen. But many of its artistic choices, such as the treatment of Deadpool and Gambit's tragic lack of screen time, left fans and critics disappointed. The movie might have been doomed from the start, however, no matter what creative decisions it made, as an unfinished copy was leaked onto the internet more than a month before it was released in US theaters. Speaking to the media at the time, Jackman remarked, "It's a serious crime, and there's no doubt it's very disappointing. I was heartbroken by it." The actor added that pirates who downloaded the movie were watching an incomplete creation, which simply couldn't be judged according to typical metrics. Though this rough version had already been watched by a vast number of people before the film arrived in cinemas, X-Men Origins Wolverine still managed to make a decent $373 million off a $150 million budget. In 2011, the mystery of who leaked the movie was solved when a New Yorker named Gilberto Sanchez pleaded guilty to uploading the unfinished film onto the internet. There are no sacred cows in Deadpool. The first film in the series takes shots at pretty much anything it can, from its own lack of budget to Wolverine and even Hugh Jackman himself.
Fake laugh, hiding real pain.
The franchise doesn't stop there either. If anything, Deadpool 2 amps up the insults. While it appears to be all in good fun, some people might not take too kindly to being the butt of an oft-repeated joke. But Hugh Jackman actually loved these quips. As Deadpool co-writer Rhett Reese told Yahoo, the great thing about it is that Hugh was a little bit like a guardian angel for us. He was very supportive of the movie. He was very supportive of us poking fun at Wolverine. Reese added that they brought a number of questions to the actor directly, especially when it came to jokes that used his likeness. Fortunately, Jackman found everything they suggested hilarious and encouraged them to have some fun at his expense. Every studio would love to sign an actor up to play a superhero forever, especially if the money is rolling in. The truth is, though, actors usually want to portray a wide variety of different characters over the course of their careers. Committing to a singular role for a long stretch of time is a very rare occurrence. Normally, a contract may be for a few years or a couple of movies, but even then, stars seem to count down the days before they can hang up their spandex. Hugh Jackman is a notable exception to this rule. In his first stint, he played Wolverine for nearly 17 years, eventually going out on his own terms in Logan. No one could fault him for that, after almost 2 decades at the wheel. It's a remarkable achievement, and a record-breaking one at that. In 2019, both Jackman and Patrick Stewart received Guinness World Record certificates for having the longest careers as live-action Marvel superheroes. And that was before both Stewart and Jackman returned to their respective roles. When Hugh Jackman retired as Wolverine for the first time, he did so on a high. Logan is not only one of the best X-Men films, but arguably one of the best superhero movies of all time. It's not surprising then that nobody was really clamoring for Jackman to go. Even before Logan blew fans and critics away, Jackman's Wolverine was the most consistently high-quality aspect of a franchise that fluctuated wildly between brilliance and trash. But Jackman wanted to go out on top, rather than limp to the finish line. In an interview with Jimmy Fallon, Jackman explained that he once met Jerry Seinfeld and asked the comedian how he knew when it was time to pull the plug on his long-running show, Seinfeld.
When you're creating something, it's very important not to run yourself dry. It's not about finishing on top necessarily, but making sure that you're creatively still got something left.
The actor added that he immediately went home and told his wife that he was hanging up the claws for good. In the world of comic book movies, there's just one certainty. It's only over if the money says it is. Yet, James Mangold's Logan positions itself as the final chapter in a legacy, one from which there is no going back. And once the movie was released, it was made abundantly clear that this version of Logan was no more. At a special screening of Logan Noir, Mangold and Hugh Jackman revealed more about how they approached the film. For one thing, their initial discussions didn't actually cover whether Logan would survive or not, but they felt they needed something definitive to mark the end of the franchise and the character's story. Mangold said, "I wanted it to be like the curtain has come down. We told the story. Just like a regular movie, we're not leaving something out there. The story is over." When fans learned that the X-Men would be joining the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the rumor mill went into overdrive regarding who would succeed Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. Some fans thought Daniel Radcliffe would be a good pick, while others swore only Tom Hardy should be in consideration for the role. There was even a passionate petition for Danny DeVito to play the hero.
You unzipped me. It's all coming back. It's all coming back. I hate you.
Everyone has their favorites and is eager to make their case, even Jackman himself. Before announcing his return for Deadpool 3, Jackman weighed in with his own choice of actor for the iconic role. Speaking to film critic Rajiv Mawson, Jackman suggested Indian actor Shah Rukh Khan should be a contender. Jackman admires the Bollywood performer enormously, and as it turns out, Khan is a big fan of both Wolverine and Jackman. He praised Jackman effusively at an Indian film convention in 2011, and said his fellow actor had once outright offered him the opportunity to be part of an X-Men film. James Mangold's Logan serves as the perfect send-off for Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. It's raw, emotional, and surprisingly beautiful. Fans flock to the theater to say their fond farewell to one of the most iconic cinematic interpretations of a classic superhero. while Jackman himself stated this was the end of his journey as the old Knucklehead. So, imagine the surprise of comic book fans everywhere when Ryan Reynolds revealed Jackman would be returning as Wolverine for Deadpool 3. Once the celebration and chatter settled, many wondered what Mangold thought of this, since the director made Logan with every intention of it being the end for Jackman's Wolverine. They didn't have to wait long to find out. Mangold posted a gif of Logan's demise on Twitter without comment, leading the internet to draw its own conclusion. But he soon posted another tweet clarifying there were no hard feelings at all, and that he couldn't wait to see what his friends would get up to in Deadpool 3.
Yeah, please subscribe, like this video, have a great day, and if you like this video, and see you guys, bye.